Yeah, I like a lot of things. So we hit the high we hit the high marks. You say we're vastly approaching the 12 o'clock hour, and not to give I don't know. I like to say we're live to tape. Shocker to those of you listening over the weekend. We record this on Thursday nights. We got about an hour and a half plus. Was there any real breakthrough today? Did they march around? Did they get some megaphones out? And
security was on high alert. So it does seem that the Qers, the QAnoners, the Q heads. I don't know, what do we call them? Anyway, the Q.
I like the Qers. I think the Qers are the Qberts. I like the Qberts.
Qberts. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so there's a little bit of infighting. Dare I say a civil war within the QAnon group, because. Some people say that this is going to happen. Clearly, as Wes pointed out, we're closing in on a deadline here. I feel like Trump's kind of a crammer, a procrastinator. So, I could see him getting it in late. But I think that this is just, we're really playing with another dead goalpost for them guys, and it's concerning. And I'm wondering where this is going to go.
Concerning to who?
I don't know. To me, kind of, because it seems like.
Well, you were hoping for fireworks, yeah?
Yeah. Well, yes, but I think the more that it morphs, I don't want anything to happen, but something's got to I feel like something's got to give to kind of either kill it or let them just go their own way, because they're starting to split, but they're still kind of together, and now they're making other crazy organizations even crazier, and so. It is a little concerning looking at how that large movement is starting to morph.
So, things. What made them believe that Donald Trump today was going to become the 16th president? Why the 16th president?
Well, 19th president.
I'm sorry. Why the 19th president? And why would he become the 19th president, and why today?
So today does play a big factor. That's a good question. Today has just some history behind it, which is actual U.S. history, and I think where we've touched on this is how they, conspiracy theory uses little bits of truth to kind of bring you in. So March 4th was originally Inauguration Day since way back in the day. So George Washington was supposed to be inaugurated on March 4th, 1789 is the date I have. I don't know if that's true. Hopefully Wikipedia did not lie. But anyway, March 4th was when he was scheduled. George Washington was scheduled to be inaugurated. It kind of just stuck. But in actuality, George Washington wasn't inaugurated on the 4th. He was inaugurated on April 30th because there was a large storm and senators couldn't get to the then capital of New York, and yada, yada, yada. So March 4th was the original scheduled date, and it just kind of stuck until we started having some problems with nominating or electing a president in November and letting him kind of hang around for 4 months, 4.5 months, and not actually do anything. Lame duck presidents started getting a little crazy. They started doing some crazy shit. I think the biggest issue, or the biggest probably lame duck event, would have been Abraham Lincoln when he was elected in November of 1860. He was inaugurated on March 4th of 1861. By the time he was inaugurated, 7 states had seceded already. So March 4th has a lot of history behind it. It was the original date until it was changed. Years later, the 20th Amendment under FDR, it changed to January 20th. Try to eliminate 7 states seceding before the president took power. And then what was the second part of your question? I apologize, because
just what would have given him the grounds to become the president, the 19th president.
So, like we said, Ulysses S. Grant, the last legitimate president, because of the whole District of Columbia turning the country into a corporation. So, because of that, they basically put their sovereign citizen hats on, their trifold hats. They put their trifold hats on, and they say, hey, this country's bullshit. None of your rules and laws apply. DJT is also taking that same vein with the military. Keep in mind, he's backed by the military in this situation. and they kind of just storm on into the Capitol and say, "Hey guys, Pelosi, you're dead. Schumer, get out of here. I'm the president now." They probably do something very heinous with Biden and Kamala, but really, it's just the belief that the country is no longer a country, and Donald Trump is here to save it from the grips of the city of London and liberal socialism, to take it back and restore the republic to what it was. He's the 19th because obviously all of this culminates in the country becoming a corporation after Ulysses S. Grant.
So he's just CEO in charge?
Yeah, basically.
This shit's making me want to believe in Bigfoot. I'll be honest with you. This shit
once he takes
getting
over,
me
he restores it back to the United States. So he is the 19th president officially, and then presumably we move on, and Donald Trump still continues the use of the Constitution for the most part. Most likely holds a free and fair election, I would assume, because he's a reasonable man. And then 8 years from now moves on and hands over power to someone else. Because if you were restoring the republic, I think that would be kind of critical. I mean, there's also some things to think about if we're cutting it off at the 16th Amendment. Like, I mean, women can't vote, so I mean, it seems like a drastically different country.
Women's suffrage. Jeez.
Yeah, seems. I mean, so the restoration of the republic comes with some give and take. Is all I'm saying. Ladies, I don't know how you're going to feel about it. You might want to talk to your boy Donnie if you're a supporter, because I don't think he's going to let you vote. But hey, man, we only got an hour and a half left. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe he writes some amendments, sign some EOs when he gets in office.
It'll be a long line of crotch grabbing.
Yes,
like,
sir.
You can now vote. You can now vote. You can now vote.
Boom, like a conveyor belt, fucking factory line.
Two-handed.
There's gonna be one of those lines that takes the defectives off, and they just when he's like, "Not you," it just pulls them off to the side.
It's like a Pink Floyd video.
So yeah, man, like I said, there's a lot of like actual history. Like I read amendments to the Constitution.
You said before we recorded, you said I can see how the rabbit hole consumes somebody.
Yeah, because it's like, all right, man. So like, March 4th was when inaugurations happened, and then it changed. Why did it change? You just go back and it changed, and you're like, oh, it changed because they're trying to shorten lame duck presidents. Okay, cool. Well, who was fucking around? What happened during lame duck presidencies? And a lot of shit happened.
Yeah, well, it also changed.
Took advantage of that. Go ahead.
It also changed because you didn't have to fucking like lug a horse and buggy up a cobblestone road anymore. That had a lot to do with it as well.
Also
like, you didn't have to like try to like make your way from Ohio in a fucking 4-foot ice storm. It's not a thing anymore. They didn't have to wait for the ground to thaw to make their way. The wheat didn't need harvesting.
And that's what I found interesting was like, so March 4th was when George Washington was supposed to be inaugurated. He didn't get inaugurated until April 30th. It's not like, all right, hypothetically, inauguration was really shitty and there was like terrible ice storm and they had to postpone it. They would do it like tomorrow. You know what I mean? Or like, even if it's scaled down, they had a fucking like 2-month time period because people couldn't travel absolutely by horse.
Right.
So I get what you're saying there.
Yeah. This is like this. Okay. Do you know why the modern marathon is 26.2 miles?
Yeah, it's because the Battle of Marathon, like the guy had to run all the way back to fucking Athens to tell everybody the battle was over.
No, that was 26 miles. Do you know why they tacked on the .2?
No,
because at the first Olympics in Greece in 1896, they built the King and Queen's booth at what they presumed to be the finish line, and it was actually 0.2 miles past the finish line. So people were like, "Well, we're not rebuilding the booth. The finish line's here. We're tacking on 0.2 miles." It just kind of reminds me of like this. People sometimes like forget just how prehistoric we were in the 1800s.
We're not that far removed from it though either. We still like hold on to a lot of like just really lame procedural things, like the whole thing with Pence, like, we got to stop Pence from reading the votes. The votes are cast. This is a ceremony. They doesn't even need to read them.
Someone else will read them. Yeah.
It's just like your whole like DC. Well, we're a corporation now. No, DC is just a plot of land. Government has nothing. I can set up the American government in a basement. If shit goes down, Donald Trump or Biden goes down to a fucking locked vault in the cellar of the White House, and that's now. Air Force One is just the plane that the president flies on. He could be on a Cessna, and that's now Air Force One. It's just it doesn't matter what it is.